Emma always photographed the small, quiet things. A faint lipstick kiss on the rim of a coffee cup, the zebra stripes of Venetian blind shadows across oak floors, a single raindrop trembling on a spiderweb like it was holding its breath. She used to say the biggest feelings hide in the details everyone else steps over. Noah would grin and tease, "You're out here hunting God in the dust." She'd fire back, "And you're building him out of concrete and steel." They met 5 years ago in a little cafe in the East Village. Emma spilled an oat milk latte all over him because she was staring at the way the afternoon light fractured through the stained glass transom. Instead of cursing, Noah dabbed his sweater with a napkin and said, "You owe me one photograph now, so I'll never forget who scalded me." That same night she shot his portrait on 35mm film, grainy, golden hour, streetlight flaring in his hazel eyes. The print still hung above their bed. They became an us almost without noticing. Emma moved into his new loft in Williamsburg with 12-foot windows and raw brick walls. He bought her a tiny cactus for the fire escape and christened it Steven Stevanovich. She taught him how to make crepes without lumps. He taught her how to read construction drawings and why a shear wall had to be exactly 15 inches, not 16. When Emma's mom died, Noah sat with her in the fluorescent hospital corridors all night, holding her hand so tightly the nurse finally gave up asking him to move. When his biggest project imploded and he didn't sleep for 14 days straight, she brought him coffee at 4 a.m., and just sat beside him in silence while he redrew every line. They weren't the loud forever type. They simply lived as if forever had already started. Then the cracks began. First, the small betrayals. Noah stopped turning off his location. Emma saw he was in Soho at 11:47 p.m. when he'd sworn he was on a site in Long Island City. Then came the new cologne, heavy oud and amber, not his usual clean creed. He shrugged, "A colleague sprayed me, just messing around." She nodded, but the scent lingered on their pillows. One afternoon she found a black velvet box receipt in his coat pocket from a jeweler on Fifth Avenue, white gold sapphire earrings surrounded by diamonds. Emma was allergic to everything except high-carat yellow gold. When she asked, he turned scarlet and muttered, "There, for my mom's birthday." His mother had been gone 4 years. Emma didn't scream. She just started quietly photographing everything, his phone face down on the counter, the new Italian sneakers he never wore inside, the faint scuff marks of stiletto heels in the hallway when he was working late. And then came the evening of February 9th. Emma was supposed to be on a shoot until 10 p.m., but the bride came down with the flu. She got home at 7:14 p.m. The lights were on. The hallway smelled like that same expensive perfume. She turned the key as softly as she could. On the floor, black patent Louboutin Pigalle 120s. Next to them, his limited edition New Balance, neatly unlaced. From the bedroom drifted low, smoky female laughter. "Just a little longer and she won't suspect a thing," Noah said. "You sure?" the woman asked. "She's not stupid. She's a photographer. She sees everything but believes whatever makes her feel safe." Laughter again. "And the wedding?" "I'll say we're pushing it to fall because of the Hudson Yards project." "She'll believe me. She always does." Something inside Emma's chest snapped, not her heart, something older and quieter and far more final. She left without a sound, took the elevator down, drove to her friend Sophia's place in Bushwick. That night she didn't cry. She just stared at the ceiling and listened to the rain. The next morning she packed one suitcase and her camera bag. Left the engagement ring on the marble island. Beside it, the original film print of Noah laughing under the streetlight. On the back, in her neat handwriting, "I heard everything. Goodbye." She took the Amtrak upstate to the little town of Hudson they'd once escaped to for a long weekend. Sat by the window. Watched the city shrink and vanish. And for the first time in months she could actually breathe. Noah called. Panic, then begging, then rage. "You're really leaving over some dumb prank?" She never answered. She rented a crooked-floored apartment above a cafe on Warren Street. Worked. Slept little. Photographed fog rolling off the river, cats on tin roofs, peeling turquoise doors. Lived. May came fast. The day that was supposed to be their wedding, May 18th, Emma woke to a text from an unknown number. A photo. Noah. On one knee. In their loft. In front of the blonde in the black dress. Emma's ring glinting on the woman's hand. Caption. She said yes. Thank you for everything. We never would have found the courage without your trust. Emma stared at the screen for a long time. Then opened her laptop, logged into their shared Google Drive, and found the folder labeled Our House. He'd been secretly designing it for 2 years. Every detail for her: south-facing kitchen for morning light, attic studio with a skylight so she could shoot the Milky Way, clawfoot tub because she'd once said it was her dream. Emma downloaded every file. Changed the password. Revoked his access. Then she sent one final message. The house you were building for me is now just mine. I already bought the land in the Catskills, the same meadow where we found that old grist mill. You remember. There won't be a wedding. But I will live. I will be happy. Without lies. Without you. She turned off her phone. Stepped onto the tiny balcony. Poured wine into a small white cup. Raised it to the quiet Hudson sky and toasted herself. Meanwhile, back in Manhattan, Noah stood at the altar in the tuxedo they had picked out together on a snowy Saturday the year before. And in that moment he understood he hadn't simply lost a woman. He had lost the one person who ever saw the best version of him, even when he couldn't see it himself. Now that person was building a house. Without him. Using his drawings. Living his dreams. Only for herself. And that was the cruelest, most perfect punishment anyone could have designed. Because he knew, with absolute certainty, that she would be happy. And he never would be again.